2 years following the outbreak of the COVID pandemic across the world, we had to hold our festival on an online basis. This was on the back of organizing festivals continuously since 1989, despite all kinds of obstacles and hardship. The impact of COVID on our lives will be felt for many decades. The pandemic has been used as an opportunity by the government and the capitalists to line their own pockets and deepen the cost of crisis, increase unemployment, and further deteriorate the working conditions of the people in the world. The Tory government in the UK, which chooses not to invest in our public services, prefers a policy of warmongering with its ally, the USA. Faced with increasing discontent and public protest, Boris Johnson's government has passed legislation criminalizing democratic protest and migrants, including making it easier to revoke the citizenship of the migrant communities. Meanwhile, they apply double standards by breaking almost all COVID rules and parliamentary code of conduct, and then change the rules to prevent accountability. The contempt this government has shown towards migrants is evident in Priti Patel's racist policy of deporting refugees to Rwanda, which is in breach of international law and human rights. News of the Rwanda flight being cancelled last night, thanks to the work of organizations like Stand Up to Racism and many other campaign groups, is one that we will certainly like to highlight in our festival this year. All these conditions makes it more important that people of all backgrounds actively organize. This is the foundation of which our festival is built and will grow. Our festival brings together not just the Turkish and Kurdish speaking community, but people from all backgrounds. It's also a platform for people to meet the representative of trade unions and various campaign groups. We are once again pleased to announce the support of trade unions like the National Education Union, the Trade Union Council, TUC, and joining us this year, Unite the Union. It is for this reason that our festival will be promoting and advocating the importance of joining the rally and protest against the deepening cost of living crisis on the 18th of July by TUC this Saturday. This will be followed by a panel meeting on the 26th June discussing the recent developments in the UK, represented by various campaign groups. Our Culture and Art Festival continues to support the working people's struggle and will end at the Park Festival on 3rd of July. The Park Festival will be seeing you in our events. Thank you. We have so many friends who are here tonight and who want to express their support for our festival. We're going to start with our first speaker, and I'm going to invite Aslı Demirel, the chair of Daymer, to come and speak. Aslı? Can I just apologize in advance to our English-speaking friends? Aslı's speech will be in Turkish, but we have friends who are around who will be translating her speech. Thank you.
Okay, welcome to Day-Mer 33rd Cultural and Art Festival of friends and comrades. And unfortunately, I have to speak my speech in Turkish, but probably my friends will translate it to you into English. Sevgili konuklar, değerli üyelerimiz, Day-Mer 33. Kültür ve Sanat Festivalimizin açılış etkinliğinde sizleri görmekten mutluyuz. Hoş geldiniz. Evet, dile kolay 33 yıldır aralıksız bir şekilde devam eden festivalimizi nihayet Covid-19 salgın koşullarında geçirdiğimiz 2 senenin ardından normal şartlarda gerçekleştiriyoruz. Bu vesileyle pandemi sürecinde kaybettiğimiz tüm insan insanlarımızı bir kez daha saygı ve sevgiyle anıyoruz. Değerli dostlar, festivalimizin onlarca yıl devam etmesinin nedeni onun üzerinde yükseldiği temellere bağlıdır. Festivalimizin temelinde ne yatmaktadır? İki önemli nokta bizi bugünlere getirdi. İlki bu ülkedeki gelişmelere, bu ülkedeki hayata, bu ülkedeki mücadeleye katılmamız, bu ülkede, İngiltere'de toplumsal yaşamın ve mücadelenin bir parçası olma çabamızdır. Bulunduğumuz bölgelerde ırkçılığa, savaşa, sağlıkta, eğitimde ve sosyal servislerdeki kesintilere, iklim değişikliğine ve haksızlığa karşı nerede bir kıpırdama, nerede bir eylem, gösteri, toplantı, yürüyüş varsa orada olma çabasıdır. Bu saldırılara karşı yürütülen mücadelenin örgütlenmesinde yer almaktır. Türkiye kökenli göçmen emekçileri bu gelişmelerle, saldırılarla ilgili bilgilendirmek ve mücadelenin bir parçası olması için yürütülen çabadır. Bu mücadeleye bağlı önemli ve köklü bir daldır festivalimiz. Kültür ve sanat alanında yerli ve diğer göçmen kardeşlerimizle birlikte yan yana geldiğimiz, paylaştığımız, dayanışmayı ördüğümüz bir alandır festival etkinliklerimiz. Festivalimizin içeriğinden düzenlenen etkinliklerine, ele aldığı konulara kadar bu temeli görürsünüz. Yaşamı, mücadeleyi kültür ve sanat alanında ortaklaştırmak Park Festivali'nde daha berrak bir şekilde görülür. Park Festivalimizin konuşmalarından sahne programına, standlarına ve katılımcılarına kadar bu ülkedeki yaşama, gelişmelere, mücadeleye, sanata dair izleri görüyoruz. İşte festivalimizi bugüne getiren en önemli temel, o köklü damarlardan biri budur. Bu vesileyle her şeye yapılan zamlarla hayatımızın daha da zorlaştığı, çalışma koşullarının ağırlaştırıldığı, sağlığın, eğitimin daha da kötüye gittiği, yoksulluğun, evsizliğin arttığı bu dönemde artık yeter dedirttirecek bir süreçte düzenlenen yürüyüşe dikkat çekmek istiyorum. Bu cumartesi Sendikal Konfederasyonu'na bağlı tüm sendikaların katılımıyla gerçekleşecek olan daha iyi bir yaşam yürüyüşüne katılmalıyız. Çünkü İngiltere'deki sınıfsal ve toplumsal mücadeleye Türkiye kökenli göçmen emekçiler olarak katılmamız dünden daha önemlidir. Saldırılar artarak devam edecektir ve bu emekçilerin ve onların çocuklarının yaşam koşullarını, en çok da göçmen emekçilerin yaşamlarını olumsuz etkileyecek. Bizler toplum olarak buna seyirci kalamayız. Dün kaçak mültecileri Ruanda'daki kampa götürmeyi engelleyen örgütlerle, iklim değişikliğine karşı mücadele eden çevrecilerle, ısınma mı, yiyecek almak mı ikileminde kalan ve mücadeleye atılan emekçilerle, ilerici kesimler ve sendikalarla birlikte mücadele etmek ve örgütlenmek zorundayız. Öyleyse 18 Haziran Cumartesi günü TÜİSÜ yürüyüşüne hep birlikte katılalım. Yerli ve göçmen emekçi kardeşlerimizle birlikte bu mücadelenin bir neferi olalım. Sevgili dostlar, kardeşlerim, festivalimizin onlarca yıl devam etmesinin nedeni onun üzerinde yükseldiği temellere bağlıdır dedik. Birincisi bu yaşamın, mücadelenin, örgütlenmenin bir parçası olması en önemli özelliği, yükseldiği temellerden biri diye konuşmamın başında bahsettim. İkinci ve birinci kadar elzem olan ise üyelerimizin kolektif, birlikte bin bir emekle örgütlü bir şekilde yürüttüğü çalışmadır. Resepsiyon alanını, tiyatro sahnesini, çıkardığımız lifletleri görüyorsunuz. Tüm bunlar üyelerimizin ve Day-Mer dostlarının kendi yeteneklerini kattıkları kolektif bir çalışmayla gerçekleşiyor. Festivalin hazırlıklarından tüm etkinlikler sürecinde bunu görürsünüz. Park Festivalimizde karınca misali çalışarak festival alanının oluşmasını sağlayan, yemekten standa, sahneden güvenliğe, etkinlikler bittikten sonra her şeyin yerli yerine konmasına kadar her alanda görev alan, koşturan, ter döken insanlarımızın emeğini, kolektif ve örgütlü bir çalışmayı görürsünüz. İşte festivalimizin önemli temellerinden birinde de bu oluşturmaktadır. İşte bu nedenle emeği geçen, sahiplenen, bu örgütlenmenin parçası olan üyelerimize ve dostlarımıza teşekkür ediyor ve Bir alkış istiyorum lütfen. Aynı zamanda festivalimizin gerçekleşmesinde sponsor olarak katkı sağlayan dostlarımıza NEYouth Unite, People's Assembly, Stand Up to Racism, TÜSE gibi sendika ve sivil toplum kuruluşlarına destek ediyoruz. Evet sevgili dostlar, festivalimiz yerli göçmen tüm emekçilerin festivali, bir mücadele festivali, kültür ve sanat alanında 33 yıldır devam eden toplumumuzun önemli değerlerinden biri. Festivalimizin bir parçası olalım, etkinliklere katılalım ve çevremizi katalım. Birliğimiz gücümüzdür. Yaşasın yerli ve göçmen emekçilerin birlikte mücadelesi. Yaşasın Day-Mer Festivali. Teşekkürler.
Thank you, Aslı. We've got so many good friends who will be making contributions, but I'm actually going to start by inviting the Speaker of Hackney, Humeira Gracia. Now, Hackney plays a vital part for our festival. It was in Hackney 33 years ago where this festival has started.
Hello everyone and welcome. I hope you're enjoying yourself this evening. My name is Councillor Humeira Gracia and I am the Speaker of Hackney. I want to start off by thanking the Daymer Turkish and Kurdish Community Centre for inviting us, and it gives me great pleasure to be here to mark the launch of the 2022 Daymer Festival, the 33rd festival of its kind, and I've been told it's the longest running festival in Hackney. The Turkish and Kurdish community have contributed towards Hackney in many ways, adding to the strength and beauty to the multicultural and diverse borough that Hackney is. It is great to see the Daymer's Multicultural Festival is back past the pandemic, post-pandemic, celebrating Turkish and Kurdish cultural traditions and bringing this community together. Festivals like this provide access and opportunities to learn from each other, promote solidarity, fosters community spirit, and strengthens the unity across different communities. And I really want to end by saying I really think the volunteers and the members of this organisation deserve a round of applause. So could we please give them a round of applause? I'll say thank you again for having me and inviting us here today, and I really hope you enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Humeira, for your speech, and thank you for underlining the fact that Day-Mer's festival now is the longest running festival in Hackney, and it's now one of the longest running festivals in London. We have more friends, and one of the good things about the Day-Mer Culture and Arts Festival, on the way, while we've been organising 33 or 32 festivals, we made lots of friends. And I think there's been times where this friendship has gone beyond just being friends and just being attendees to our festival. And we now have them on board helping us organize such an event. And one of the important people in this sense is the people from National Education Union, which I'm proud to say is my union. And having supported us now for about 6-7 years, promoting the festival and talking about the festival has added great value to our festival. And I'm proud to now invite Louise Regan, who's one of the national executive committees of the National Education Union, to make a contribution. Louise?
Hello, welcome everyone, and thank you so much for inviting me. It's as ever, it's an honour and a privilege to be here with all of you. I'm very proud of the work that my union does internationally, but I'm particularly proud of the work that we do with Daymer and solidarity with the people of Turkey. We have recently, jointly with Unison, launched a series of films and online clips about what is the reality on the ground for workers in Turkey at the moment, and trade unionists and the attacks that they face on a daily basis. We work very closely with Egerton Sen, the education trade union out there, who are a fantastic union under a huge amount of attack. And I'm also very pleased to be here because I know how much work you do championing the struggle against racism in our country. And I'm sure, like me, many of you were delighted to see that the deportation to Rwanda flights finally got stopped last night and no refugees were deported. We will continue to work to support all those seeking sanctuary in our country, but also fighting against racism. So I hope you have a fantastic festival. I'm really looking forward to being there at the park, and I also hope that as many of you as possible get along on Saturday to the TUC demonstration, because workers have to stand together. We have to fight back against the attacks that this government is putting.
Thank you, Louise. And I think Louise mentioned, a very, very important point. Only been one particular organisation who've been at the forefront in challenging.
But we can't rest on our laurels. We cannot relax about this question. Priti Patel, who is going out of her way to prove that she's more racist than any other Tory Home Secretary, is determined to bring those flights back. We have got a big fight to make sure that last night's success is repeated again and again, and none of our brothers and sisters are packed up on flights on one-way tickets to Rwanda. If the government is serious about wanting to stop people trafficking, give migrants who are coming across the channel visas as you do to people coming from Ukraine or from Hong Kong. And the reality is, it's not about numbers. Since the Ukrainian crisis, there have been more visas issued to people from Ukraine and Hong Kong than 10 years worth of people who crossed the channel. It's not about numbers, it's about racism. Because those people are black and Asian and Turkish and Kurdish and Iraqi and Iranian. That's why the government doesn't want them here, it's trying to make them scapegoats. So we have a fight on our hands around the question of the Rwanda deportations. We've had a success, but we need to keep fighting. The second thing and last thing I want to finish on is I want to talk a little bit about the police. I've spoken here before about the stop and search powers, section 60, which is without reasonable cause, police can stop and search you. I want to talk about something even worse than that. I'm hoping some of you will have heard about the case of Charles Q, a 15-year-old schoolgirl in a Hackney school, taken out of her exam because there's a suspicion that she was in possession of cannabis. She was taken out of an exam into a room where two police officers strip searched her, found nothing, and then sent her back to finish her exam. Now that story is bad enough on its own, but since then, what's come out is that there have been in London alone, Met Police figures, there's been 1,500 school students strip searched, searching for drugs. 75% of them from black and ethnic minorities. Again, police racism, just like we see with stop and search powers, just like we see with the use of tasers. We have a fight on our hands to challenge racism. I'm really proud to be here, and I'm really grateful for the work that Day-Mer does, and I look forward to seeing you all on 3rd July. Thank you for listening to me this evening.
Thank you, Vivek, and we will most certainly try and highlight all these issues for our festival. But more importantly, I'm sure you will find a stand-up to racism stall in our festival on the 3rd of July, where you will be able to find out more about some of the work that Stand Up to Racism is doing. Now, we're going to have a short break from the speakers. We're now going to invite to the stage the Daymer Women's Choir, who's going to sing us some lovely songs. We're just going to give them a few minutes to settle down, and then I'll just announce. So give them a fantastic round of applause to the stage. Daymer Women's Choir. round of applause for Day-Mer Women's Choir. Come on, alkışlar nerede arkadaşlar? Buradaki arkadaşlarımızın şöyle bir ricası var arkadaşlar. Eğer sessiz olabilirsek programı eminim daha çok zevk alarak dinleyeceğiz. Friends, if we can just reduce the noise among ourselves to enjoy the session. Thank you. Arkadaşlar, aramızdaki sohbetlere bir 5 dakika ara verebilirsek, hem arkadaşlarımızın enstrümanları daha iyi duyabilmesi, hem de bizim programdan daha çok zevk almamız için iyi olacak. Bu konudaki desteğinizden dolayı şimdiden teşekkürler, sağ olun.
Mutlu dediğin dost seni yanar. Alnının terini sofrana sunar. Sana bu son gelen 1000 yıllık çınar, fiske vuruşuyla yıkılır bir gün, fiske vuruşuyla yıkılır bir gün, yıkılır bir gün. Sana bu son gelen 1000 yıllık çınar, fiske vuruşuyla yıkılır bir
Kocaman bir alkışlar arkadaşlar. Thank you to Daymer's Women's Choir for that fantastic performance. We've got a couple more speakers and we've got a couple more, well, some more live performances, guys. And I'm next going to, so far I've talked about some of our friends from some of the native organizations, from the trade union and progressive forces. But I'm also now going to invite someone closer to home. And I'm going to invite Ibrahim Has, representing Unity of Democratic Forces. İbrahim.
Teşekkür ederim öncelikle. Sevgili dostlar, hepinize merhaba. Bu kadar güzel kadının seslendirdiği bu kadar güzel bir müzikten sonra beni dinlemek zor olacağını biliyorum ama sabrınız için şimdiden teşekkür ediyorum. Merak etmeyin, çok uzatmayacağım. Sevgili dostlar, burada bizim toplumumuzun birçok kuruluşları çeşitli amaçlar için var olur. Cemevlerimiz, demokratik kitle örgütlerimiz, siyasi örgütlerimiz vesaire hepsinin bir amacı vardır. 1989 yılından beri Kürt ve Türk toplumunun özellikle bu yaşadığımız ikinci vatanda entegre olması, yaşaması ve sorunlarının giderilmesi için emek veren, mücadele edilen Daymer'in bu 33. kültür ve sanat ve faşizme veya ırkçılığa karşı olan festivalini Demokratik Güç Birliği adına saygıyla selamlıyorum. Özellikle dünyanın, yaşadığımız ülkenin ve doğduğumuz ülkenin içinde olduğu koşullarda ırkçılığın, ayrımcılığın, ötekileştiriciliğin adeta tavan yaptığı bir dönemde Daymer'in ırkçılığa karşı, ayrımcılığa karşı bu verdiği mücadele, bu festival saygıya değerdir. Biliyorsunuz bu yaşadığımız ülkede son zamanlarda gündemde olan, yakın zamanda da en azından bir kısmını gönderilmesi durdurulmuş olan göçmenlerin başka ülkelere gönderilerek adeta faşizmin doruk yaşadığı bir noktadır. Yaşadığımız günlerde bu festivalin yapılması kıymetlidir. Ayrıca biliyorsunuz bir polis yasasıyla bizim gibi göçmen olan toplumların adeta burada başımızda demokrasi kılıcı gibi sallanan bir yasa çıkarıldı. Bizlerin veya daha da önemlisi çocuklarımızın bile buradaki gelecekleri polis yasasıyla bazı kişilerin iki dudağı arasına bırakılmış durumdadır. Mesnetsiz sebeplerle her an buradaki vatandaşlıklarımız elimizden alınıp deportation yapabiliriz. Bu konuda ciddi çalışma yapılması gerekmektedir. Bütün kurumlara çok önemli bir görev düşmektedir. Day-Mer zaten bu konuda çok önemli çalışmalar yapmaktadır. Ayrıca söylemek isterim ki bugün parlamentoda Alevi Sekreteriyası yaptığımız toplantıda, bizim katıldığımız toplantıda bu konu gündeme getirilmiş ve parlamenterlerin bu konuda ciddi çalışmalar yapılması talep edilmiştir. Daha fazla sözü uzatmadan bu zor günlerde bu festivalin bizlere, emekçilere, buradaki bütün emekçilere bir umut olmasını temenni ediyorum. Demokratik Güç Birliği adına hepinizi saygıyla selamlıyorum. Festivalinize başarılar diliyorum.
Thank you, Ibrahim, and I'm sure there's going to be lots of opportunities to work together against racism, against class, and against better living conditions with the Alevi movement and all the other movements in London. Now, a couple of years ago, Day-Mer set itself a task, and this task was to help the workers within the community to be organized. Now, Daymer is clear that the only place where the workers can be organized is through their unions, their trade unions. So it sets itself a challenge, and it basically wanted to put together a platform where migrant workers who work in the food, retail and the services sector can be an organized voice. And in doing this, it made contacts with Unite the Union, which is, as far as I'm concerned, the biggest trade union here in the UK. And this request from Daymer was not turned down by Unite the Union. In fact, it was welcomed. And after, through lots of consultations, lots of hard work, lots of meetings, and speaking to workers in the local area, Daymer and Unite were proud to announce the formation of Unite Migrant Food Retail and Services Branch, which was a fantastic achievement in trying to make sure that the Turkish and Kurdish workers have a voice where they can organize. And one person who played a vital role in this is a trade unionist who I hope that you can all remember is Onay Kasap. And Onay played a fantastic part in establishing such branch, and he's officially a Daymer friend, a comrade, and I'm sure we'll be seeing him around, especially when we're trying to organize those workers in their workplaces. And without further ado, I want to invite Onay Kasap to say words. Onay.
Thank you for the introduction, brothers, sisters, comrades, thank you for the invitation to come along to this event today. Let me start by bringing solidarity greetings from the whole of Unite the Union, from our General Secretary, Sharon Graham, downwards. We bring solidarity greetings to this event. We want to congratulate you. We want to congratulate Daymer, not just for putting on the festival, but we want to congratulate Daymer for all the work that you have done over the years. Your work at Daymer is a shining light in what can be, in fact what are very, very dark times that we are currently living in. Previous speakers have spoken about the government's asylum policy, which is now privatised out to Rwanda. We've had magnificent campaigns opposing that. But we live in dark times when governments can act in that way. We live in dark times when we have a Prime Minister who lies to the whole nation. Now look, most heads of states, most Prime Ministers, most presidents lie. But the difference with this one is he lies and then he laughs at our faces while he is doing it. That's an outrage. And by the way, nobody should ever call him Boris. It's Boris Johnson or the Prime Minister. Calling him Boris only makes him sound too human, and he is certainly not human. We now know that even during lockdown, even during the COVID crisis, the proportion of wealth that the wealthy have compared to the working class increased. It was a con. There was a massive transfer of wealth from working class people to those who are already rich. That is a disgrace, and that is an absolute con. And yes, it can look like very dark times. And yes, I've given you just a few examples of what's wrong, and it's important to always be aware and be truthful about what's going well, what's wrong, what's dark and what's light. But we also know that it's even more important to make sure that we know that there is hope. And that's what we all have in common in this room. We all have hope. Day-Mer gives everybody hope. The new branch, the Migrant Workers Retail Services branch, working together with Day-Mer, gives us hope. The fact that a trade union and a community organisation can come together and set up a union branch gives us hope. The fact that the union branch is a member of a trade union which since the election of Sharon Graham as General Secretary has won over £25 million for workers in this country. That's hope. That's shining a light. But as well as providing hope, we also have to provide an alternative. It's not just about hope for the sake of hope, but it's hope so that we can fight and win our battles today as part of the fight filled with hope for a brighter socialist future tomorrow. Congratulations again to Day-Mer. Yaşasın Day-Mer Festivali. Yaşasın İşçiler Birliği. Yaşasın sosyalizm. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Onay. That's a powerful speech. Our final speaker of the night is going to be Steve Jones from the Communication Workers Union. So, Steve.
Thanks very much, colleagues and comrades. I'd like to thank Arif for inviting me to speak. I have to be honest, we shared a platform a couple of weeks ago, and we were talking about what we do next and what we need to do next, and what we do after the 18th, because the march that's taking place on the 18th, on Saturday, is not going to be the end, it's going to be the beginning. Too often has the Labour and Trade Union movement gone out in the streets, walked the streets, shouted the shout, but then they followed it up with very little. I'd like to bring solidarity greetings from my union, the Communication Workers Union. We have about 200,000 members. Tomorrow ballot papers for strike action will be hitting the doormats of our BT, our Openreach and our EE membership. That's about 40,000. Today we gave notice in Royal Mail for strike action, and Royal Mail responded by saying that they're going to impose a derisory 2% meetings all afternoon, discussing that with my national executive and my national officers. That's about 110,000 people who will be adding their list to strike action that's taking place alongside many other workers. What I think it's important to do, because I thought I was going to come here and try and persuade you and talk to you about how important that our movement and us joining together in our movement and joining together on Saturday is going to be for all of us. Well, I don't need to tell you that, because every speaker that's got up here has said exactly the right reasons why we need to be here. And I'm absolutely gobsmacked and amazed about how many people here actually get it. I don't very often go to meetings where people actually understand what's going on before I've spoken. But you guys do. You sincerely, absolutely understand what needs to be done. And that's bringing working people together, not only in the workplace, but within their communities. And that's what we're attempting to do now with Harrogate Trades Council. And that's why I'm glad that Day-Mer Unite branch is part of that. We have contacted about a dozen or so different community organisations, and on top of that trade unions, over the last few weeks. We had an amazing meeting in the Turkish Cypriot Community Centre down on Green Lanes. We're going to be following that up with a meeting next week. It's not going to be a question of us in the trade union movement coming to people like yourselves and telling you what you need to do. What we want is for you to come and tell us what you think we should be doing for you and what we can do together. I think that this movement of ours is at a crossroads. I've been around the block a few times. I've seen the late 70s and the 80s, involved in the miners' strike, involved in the poll tax, the anti-poll tax movement. I've never seen anything like what I think we're witnessing now. The rich are getting richer and the poorer are suffering as a result of it, and that has to simply stop. And I think that you guys in this small but very, very important community centre that you've got need to be at the heart of that. And your message is the same message that we want to give out to people. We want to start joining together. So as far as the 18th is concerned, please come along, bring your friends and bring your family. But after that, we need to start getting involved in the local communities and working together. I've never been to this community centre before. I live next door to the Kurdish Community Centre of Green Lanes in Copland Gardens. That's a great community centre. And I knew you were here, but I hadn't been down here to come in. I've just found such a welcoming invite from yourselves. And what I'd like to do is make sure that we all start working together on a consistent basis, that we share our ideas, we share our struggles, because our struggle is your struggle. So thank you very much, and I'll see you on the 18th.
Thank you, Steve. Your struggle is most certainly our struggle, and we can only make that struggle better and bigger by finding common grounds to fight. And I think that's what Daymer has aimed to do since it was first established 30 odd years ago. And we'll keep on doing that. And I think the message for this Saturday, and a number of our speakers have mentioned the TUC rally this Saturday, and I think it's very important to highlight that once more. And I know as a Day-Mer we have designed a banner, and that banner says that we demand better for millions and not millionaires. And I think that's what needs to be our message, and that's what we need to echo around the streets of London on Saturday. Now that's all of our speakers, and we now have a very, very talented young musician. His name is Adar Dilberoğlu. And I think he's a prime example of what young people can achieve and what young people can do when they are given opportunities, which I'm afraid that this government and some of the previous governments have taken away from our young people. And I'm now going to invite Adar to the stage to give us a performance. So I want the loudest round of applause for Adar, our young member. Come on, Adar.
Herkese iyi akşamlar. Çalmadan önce size bugün çalacağım parça hakkında biraz bilgi vermek istedim. Şimdi çalacağım parça Aşık Veysel'in unutulmayacaklarından olan bir parça Kara Toprak. Kara Toprağı piyanoyu ayarlayan da Fazıl Say. Aşık Veysel'in anısına ve Fazıl Say'ın saygıları ile size bu parçayı sunacağım. Good evening all. The piece that I will soon perform is one of the greatest of Aşık Veysel. Aşık Veysel is a very important Turkish songwriter, and this piece is known as Black Earth. This piece was arranged for the piano by Fazıl Say. In honor of Aşık Veysel and in respect of Fazıl Say, I will be performing Black Earth. Thank you.
Evet, normalde akustik bir piyanoda çalınması gerekiyor ama burada bazen adrenaline deyince ayarlar değişiyor. Ondan dolayı kusura bakmayın. big thank you to Ada for that fantastic performance. Friends, that's the end of our speakers and our performances from the stage. We're now going to allow you guys to grab something to eat in there. So we're serving some appetizers and some snacks. So help yourself, and we hope to see you around for a quick conversation about the festival. Thank you for being here tonight, and see you at Day-Mer Festival. Thank you.